you're also quiet. You can talk, you know. You're not like.
Good evening and welcome to the Township Committee meeting of May 13th, 2025. An executive session was held at 6:30 and we are now reconvening. Ms. Brake, please call the roll.
Committeeman Britting.
Here.
Committeewoman Hand.
Here.
Committeeman Lapani.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Payne.
Here.
Mayor Ciccarelli.
Here.
Administrator Ferrera.
Here.
Attorney Willard.
Here.
All right, please join me in a salute to the flag. All right, I read the usual language earlier. So, approval of minutes. May I have a motion and a second to approve the regular meeting minutes of April 22nd, 2025?
So moved.
Seconded.
Roll call?
Committeeman Britting.
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand.
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne.
Yes.
Mayor Ciccarelli.
Yes. Okay, may I have a motion and a second to approve the executive meeting minutes from January 14th, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Committeeman Britting.
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand.
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne. Yes. Mayor Ciccarelli.
Yes. All right, on a roll. May I have a motion and a second to approve the executive session minutes from February 11th, 2025?
So moved. Seconded.
Roll call?
Committeeman Britting.
Abstain.
Committeewoman Hand.
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne.
Yep.
Mayor Ciccarelli.
Yes. Okay. So before we get into the committee, pardon? Mr. Willard?
Yeah, Mayor, I guess,
Address?
yeah, before we get to the reports, while we still have everybody here in a captive audience, as everybody knows, every municipality in the state of New Jersey is on a time deadline with respect to coming up with a housing plan. It's got to be filed by June 30th. And I understand we just had an executive session meeting to discuss that. We're still in the planning process, and there's a need of a special meeting of the Township Committee for Monday, May 19th, 2025 at 4 p.m. So if the Township Committee would like a motion and a second and a roll call to approve the clerk sending out a special meeting notice again for Monday, May 19th at 4 p.m.
So
Make
moved.
a motion.
Oh, sorry.
Motion and a second. So,
I'll second it.
all right, we have it.
And that's for executive session.
Yes, it is technically a public meeting. We will come out here, we'll open the meeting, but then again, for members of the public, the Township Committee then will be going into executive session to discuss things of a confidential nature because it is our affordable housing plan and it is under litigation. And then there will be a public comment session if anybody should want to appear, but again, I don't think there's a need to. But anybody's welcome to attend because it is a public meeting of the Township Committee.
Okay, so a roll call?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right. Before we get into committee reports, I have a couple of general announcements to make. Hillsborough community mourns the loss of a beloved coach, counselor, and resident Ian Projan, who lost his 14-year battle with brain cancer on May 2nd. Ian will be remembered for his quiet strength, unwavering dedication, and deep love for the people around him. Hillsborough Township offers our condolences to Ian's family, friends, and students. May your treasured memories be a blessing for Ian and the Projan family. So, this month is, May is National Military Appreciation Month. It's observed annually to honor and thank the men and women who serve or have served in the U.S. Armed Forces. The month-long observance, established by Congress in 1999, provides an opportunity to reflect on the sacrifices made by those who serve and their families, and to show appreciation for their dedication. So it's Military Appreciation Month. I know we've got a big event at the end of the month in our Memorial Day Parade and Veterans Breakfast, so recognize that. Hillsborough also is excited to welcome 2 new businesses to the community. I was joined by Committeewoman Hand and the Economic and Business Development Director, Susanna Karras, and members of Hillsborough Police Department and the Hillsborough Business Association to cut ribbons at Robinson's Chocolates and Peru Chican. Learn more about these businesses tomorrow at the Hillsborough Township website and an upcoming edition of the Mayor's News. Robinson's Chocolates is a favorite of mine, and my family. So, if any company wants to schedule a ribbon cutting, please contact the Economic and Business Development Office at hba@hillsboroughNJ.gov. Last Thursday, Committeewoman Hand and I were both able to attend the Hope for Tomorrow Mental Health Fair. We had numerous vendors. It was run by Borough Safe. A huge turnout and lots of vendors, if you will, or groups supporting the mental health fair put on by Borough Safe. So, great event, another successful one, and it was a very busy evening. And on May 2nd, we had a bench dedication. We held a bench dedication at Ann Van Middlesworth Park in memory of Vladimir Stabnoy. Deputy Mayor Payne and I were honored to participate, and we'll learn more about Vladimir's legacy during the proclamations today. So with that, I'd like to go to reports from the committee, starting with Committeeman Britting.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's having a great week so far. Stay out of the rain, which is hard to do the rest of the week. My kids play baseball, hopefully this year. Rec leagues are actually double headers now, which is crazy. So, all right, so for administration, so first I want to put a congratulations out there for, Ms. Lenza, don't leave yet. See, we're going to congratulate you too. See, you're coming in and out. So congratulations to Hillsborough Township Clerk, Ms. Sarah Brake, and Deputy Clerk, Erica Lenzo. They both were named to the 2025 Municipal Clerks Honor Roll. This is Ms. Brake's 5th year in a row to receive this recognition. Now she's a Hall of Famer. And Erica's 2nd year in a row, so perennial all-star. The Municipal Clerks Honor Roll is a special program from the General Code since 2001. Mr. Ferrer, I know they work for you. Is there anything you'd like to just say about both of them while I'm on the subject?
I think one word, awesome. So I couldn't be happier with both Sarah and Erica in our office, not only supporting me, the rest of the employees, the business community, the residents, but also the mayor and the township committee. So I'm thrilled for them, and we already know that they belong on the honor roll, so we're thrilled.
That's
so
great.
Thrilled to have them.
That's
Thank
great.
you. Thank
And
you.
we have a tremendous leadership program as well, too, that Ms. Ferrer had sponsored for many years, and we won an award last year for helping and sponsoring our people and working with them on growth and development, which is great. All right, next is primary election. Hear a lot of buzz on social media. So the New Jersey primary election is a few short weeks away. Here are a couple dates. I'm not asking you to memorize them all. You can always look them up. Mail-in ballots were sent out on April 19th. Voter registration deadline is May 20th, so coming up. The drop box in front of the municipal building is now open for mail-in ballots. Sample ballots will be mailed on May 28th, so that's coming up in about 2-ish weeks plus or so, 2 weeks. The deadline to request a mail-in ballot is June 3rd, so you could still request one even though they were already sent out. In-person early voting for the June primary election begins June 3rd. The last day for early voting is June 8th, and primary election day is June 10th. All right, so what that tells you is, just for everybody to know, and the younger people in the crowd too who don't vote yet, we have a new system, a new process in the country, or mostly in the state of New Jersey as well too. So the early voting, right? So that's a big deal. So you can go before Election Day and vote. Gives you the opportunity to make sure your voice is heard. So it's very important. Economic and business development. So ribbon cutting. Hillsborough Township proudly welcomes Care and Cure Physical Therapy to our growing business community. Located at 256 Route 206, Unit 9, Care and Cure provides personalized, hands-on treatment to help patients recover faster and feel better. It's a great vision and model. Their team is dedicated to improving mobility, relieving pain, and supporting long-term wellness for individuals of all ages. If you'd like to schedule a ribbon cutting, for any of you who run a business or friends and family who are as well too, please contact the office here at hba@hillsboroughNJ.gov. All right, so National Small Business Week, that is concluded. So that was Hillsborough Township thanks everyone who supported our local businesses during National Small Business Week. Even though it's considered an official week, support them every week. That's very important. That was from May 10th through May 14th officially, with over 1,000 small businesses in town. If you think about it, we have a large town, 1,000 businesses. It's huge. Your support helps them thrive and strengthens our local economy. From dining at hometown favorites to shopping at local retailers, your efforts made a real difference. We just want to thank everyone who shopped locally and continue to do so. Continue to shop at #ShopForBorough NJ all year long. All right, next is from the Health Department. So we have Green Living and Wellness Fair. So the economy is important, but health is way more important. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything else. So health's very important. The annual Green Living and Wellness Fair will be held on Saturday, June 7th, in conjunction with Hillsborough YMCA Hop 5K. The fair, our Rain or Shine event, begins at 8 a.m. here at this building, and it will end at 11 a.m., a little before lunch. So participating local businesses will share informative presentations to raise awareness of the various aspects of living a healthy lifestyle, including making informed nutritional choices, long-term planning decisions, and benefits of a green lifestyle. There will also be health screenings, interactive dance, and exercise demonstrations. So actually pretty cool if you want to bring somebody, family member, to come be a part of it. Human resources. So we have a very strong human resources department in Hillsborough to make sure we have the great people that we have here, and they do a great job supporting. So Hillsborough is hiring for a variety of positions, including inspectors for the building department and a crossing guard. So please see tomorrow's e-news for more information on available employment opportunities with Hillsborough Township. And e-news is very important. If you go to the Hillsborough website, sign up for the e-news because you will get weekly and sometimes bi-weekly information sent from the township. There's so much going on here. Sometimes you have to look and you'll see how great it is. Just a few more from me here, too. So recreation. So recreation is still open. This is for all ages. A lot of times the kids take advantage of the recreation. It's still open for the 2025 Summer Sports Clinics and Music Academy and Summer Camp. See tomorrow's e-news for the registration link for these programs. We have a fantastic recreation department here who is doing an immense amount of work with the kids in the spring and in the summer. It's getting time for it, so please sign up. They're very digitally savvy as well, too, so you can sign up online. Makes it very easy. Social services, so the area that's really helping people live better and healthier lives, and just better lives in general, better quality of life. Instrumental meditation and yoga series for Hillsborough senior citizens. Our social services department is pleased to offer an instrumental meditation and yoga series for Hillsborough seniors during May and June. If you're interested in participating, please contact the social services department to register. You can find their number on the website. They're right down the hall here. Fantastic. And the last one, tax assessor. So the farmland applications that are specific to those types of land will be mailed from the assessor's office in June to all qualified farmland owners. Completed farmland applications should be returned to the assessor's office by August 1st, 2025. That is all from me. Thank you very much, Mayor. Next.
Thank you, Committeeman Britting. One item on the HBA, the small business comment. Earlier today, I attended HBA, Hillsborough Business Association, joint meeting with the Somerset County Business Partnership. So very busy day, but a nice event attended by about 100 small businesses, some from Hillsborough, some from Somerset County. So we'll talk about that probably at the next meeting. We'll have some pictures, but a great event tonight. So thank you. Next is Committeewoman Hand.
Thank you very much, Mayor. All right. Hello. Good evening. Hoping all of the moms out there had a fabulous Mother's Day. I feel like we had really nice weather, which was wonderful. From a Stroke Awareness Month, it is Stroke Awareness Month, so May designated as National Stroke Awareness Month in the U.S. This is a month-long campaign aimed at raising public awareness about stroke prevention, early recognition, which is really important, and the signs of stroke so that we can seek medical attention immediately. The signs of stroke, think about fast, as you can see here, face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, time to call 911. It's important to call 911 at the initial signs of stroke, no matter how small. Immediate treatment is essential so that symptoms and long-term repercussions don't escalate. We also have from Sahaja Yoga Meditation. I think we have a visual there too. So this was founded by a local friend, Shri, and her spiritual breakthrough has enabled all people in Hillsborough to have easy and free access to self-actualization and self-realization. At the in-person upcoming weekly classes at the Hillsborough Library, you'll have the opportunity to meditate in real time to nourish the subtle energy system components within us, specifically our energy channels, energy centers, which provide vital energy for our optimal physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Again, classes are free. Please check the library calendar for scheduled dates. I also had the pleasure of attending the Board of Ed Art Gala recently. So great demonstration of not only the musical talents from town, but also as you walk around the building, the incredible art that all ages within the township have produced. Also wanting to call out, we've had a couple fabulous milestones with our Hillsborough sports. So with our women's lacrosse, I would just like to give a shout out to Sarah Thompson, who had her remarkable 100 draw controls. If you're not familiar with lacrosse or women's sports, it's a big deal. You want draw control so you can maintain possession. So congrats to her on 100 draw controls. And then as well to Kevin Jones of the men's lacrosse team that just scored 100 points. So congrats to him at the high school. And then a shout out to two of our alumni. This is a moment of personal privilege as I'd like to give a shout out to Gabriella Russa as well as Hallie Hand. Yes, my daughter. These are two Hillsborough alumni that just competed in the NCAA D3 women's lacrosse. It was really incredible to have them representing TCNJ and Stevens Institute of Technology as they battled on Mother's Day. I'd like to report that Stevens, my daughter's team, did win. They are advancing to the NCAA Sweet 16, and it is just an incredible moment to see our alumni not only excel from an academic standpoint, but also physically and emotionally as well. So thank you for that, and back to you, Mayor.
Thank you, Committeewoman. Next will be Committeeman Lapani.
Good evening, everybody. Wait, okay. Well, once the weather warms up, people want to go to their pool. Right now, not so much, but pools have specific requirements for their installation and for their barriers. These requirements are intended to protect potential drowning and near drowning by restricting access to the pool. Seasonal pools may be temporary but can pose a life safety issue if the barrier requirements are not properly met. Please stop by the building department for more information and to get our residential swimming pool guide. And we did talk about this. They do require a permit, so please remember to get your permit for these pools so they can be inspected as part of this program. The life they save may be one of your own loved ones. Building Safety Month. Building Safety Month is an international campaign held in May to raise awareness about building safety. This campaign reinforces the need for those adoption of modern, regularly updated building codes and helps individuals, families, and businesses understand what it takes to create a safe and sustainable structure. Hillsborough Township is committed to recognize that our growth and strength depends on the safety and economic values of our homes, buildings, and infrastructure that serve our citizens in everyday life during natural disasters. The International Code Council sponsors Building Safety Month to remind the public about the critical role of our local code officials and our communities of unknown protectors of the public. We have started we'll be starting, once the weather permits, our annual sidewalk replacement program. The engineering department advised that a contract was bid for the sidewalk through the township. We will concentrate in high walk areas near schools and shopping. Other locations with uneven sidewalks will be reviewed, and developments are to be end of developments are to be determined within the next few weeks. The continuation of our Hillsborough master plan that the mayor has talked about in the subcommittee is exciting to announce again that the next master plan survey is now live. This survey is looking for insight on Hillsborough's current and future land use patterns and is open to anyone who lives, works, or owns property in Hillsborough Township. It will close on May 18th at 11:59 p.m. for those who stay up that late, if you want to get your last-minute app in there, and it is available in a variety of languages. Give your feedback and let your voice help share Hillsborough's future. Visit the Engage Hillsborough platform to take the survey and learn more about the master plan process. And we're also asked a lot of times, what can our youth do to help be part of a township? This is one of those such circumstances. They live in this town. They have a vision of what they like. So all these lovely students over here, I'm sure you have some opinions of what you like to see in town. So, and you guys are very tech savvy. Scan the QR code and let's hear what you have to say. Public Works Pavement Preservation Program. We've talked about the pavement program, but the pavement preservation program is another prong of our long-term cost-effective maintenance program designed to extend pavement life through the use of preventative maintenance products such as microseal and chip seal. When applied to the right roads at the right time, it improves safety and driving quality while saving tax dollars. Currently, 20 roads are scheduled to receive some sort of road preservation, one of the two that we just mentioned, and I will list the roads slowly, and it's also up here. Bohm Way, Todd Street, Larison Drive, Hendrick Court, Frey Road, Crane Court, Peak Lane, Drost Road, Cruiser Court, Doyle Court, Hamilton East, Ann Street, A-N-N-E, because there's two N's, Franklin Street, Claremont, High Acre Drive, Sunnyside Lane, Norris Drive, Wagner Lane, Felon Place, and Woods Road from Amwell to Hillsborough Road. The timeline hasn't been issued, but will be released in the next month. Lastly, the Municipal Borough Safe Mental Health Awareness Month. We've talked about the fair that we just had. National Mental Health Awareness Month was established in 1949 to raise awareness about the importance of mental health and to stop the stigma associated with mental health. Mental illness can affect anyone and develop at any time. It spreads well beyond the individual to family, friends, and coworkers. In the United States, 1 in 5 adults will experience the mental illness each year. 17% of our youth experience a mental health disorder each year. And 50% of lifetime mental illness begins by age of 14. Feelings of worry, stress, and fear are normal during a crisis. Hillsborough Township and Hillsborough School District have designated as stigma-free communities. Stigma-free initiatives help raise awareness surrounding mental health and strives to create an environment where individuals feel free to speak, support, and enhance their mental health without fear or being stigmatized. That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Committeeman. Next is Deputy Mayor Payne.
Hi, guys. We can't do this any faster. I promise you we're trying, though. Okay, so first thing first, chimneys and outdoor fireplaces are popular in backyards throughout Hillsborough. Although their use is allowed under the state fire code, there are restrictions that residents must comply with. Please see tomorrow's e-news and Hillsborough Township website for chimney and fireplace safety tips and recommended guidelines from the Hillsborough Fire District. For the police, we have a lot of things. So for the first time in over a decade, Team Hillsborough proudly completed the 2025 Police Unity Tour, riding over 300 miles from New Jersey to Washington, D.C. The Police Unity Tour is an annual event where law enforcement officers from across the U.S. ride their bicycles to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington. The goal of the ride is to honor police officers who have died in the line of duty and to raise awareness for law enforcement sacrifices. To end their journey, officers from all chapters rode together to the National Law Enforcement Memorial, where friends, family, officers, and survivors welcome them. Congratulations specifically to our riders, Corporal Gorka, Patrolman Gerba, Patrolman Johnson, and the support team of Patrolman Lawrence, Detective Ricci, and Andy Gerba, Patrolman Gerba's wife, and not only for completing the ride, but continuing to represent Hillsborough in a selfless and exemplary manner. To say that we're proud is an understatement. Also, a special thank you to the Bridgewater PD that helped Hillsborough join them, showing them the ropes, and also shared their trailer. It's National Police Week, which is why they do the ride now. Offers honor, remembrance, and peer support while allowing law enforcement, survivors, and citizens to gather and pay homage to those who gave their lives in the line of duty. There's also an ice cream social coming up. The Hillsborough PD invites Hillsborough residents. Hillsborough residents. I'm hungry, can you tell? To come out and connect with them at the Ice House down the street on July 9th from 6 to 9, in addition to meeting the local officers. The first 100 kids get a free cone. Nothing? God, that was really much quieter than I expected. I'm sorry. You all should be lined up right now. I know. Gosh, they're hard to please, these teens, you know? Save the date. I know. Save the date. Hillsborough Police is also hosting their second annual National Night Out on August 5th, weather permitting, from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at Mountain View Park. Fun, games, demonstrations, and much more. For the veterans, this is, as the mayor mentioned, a big veteran month. We have active military veterans and spouses. It's time to register for the Salute to Military Service Breakfast taking place on Saturday, May 24th, before the Memorial Day Parade. Please contact the Rec Department at 908-369-4832 to reserve your place. Doors will open at 7:30 a.m. The Memorial Day Parade will follow at 10 a.m. and the Garden of Honor ceremony at 11 a.m. We will also feature our lovely choir to come and sing for us at the morning breakfast. And lastly, the next veteran information session will be on June 21st from 10 to 12 in the senior room over here. We will be joined by someone from the Veterans Hospital Lions in Basking Ridge, so we're very excited about that. And that is all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. All right, a couple more items we'll torture you with, but all good news. Hillsborough remains one of the best places to live and raise a family in New Jersey. Out of 564 municipalities in New Jersey, Hillsborough remains one of the top 100 places to live and raise a family, according to the ranking site Niche.com. With an overall Niche.com score of A+, Hillsborough received a plethora of high rankings in the state, including A+ for public schools, A+ for as good for families, and A- for diversity. Hillsborough also achieved A's in outdoor activities and health and fitness, with B's in housing, crime, and safety. Hillsborough is proud of our diverse community, and we continue to receive high marks in quality of life, public schools, and low crime as a testament to our teachers, police department, township staff, business owners, and residents who bring a pride of ownership to new levels. So great stuff. The 2025 Township Calendar. This year, we're working with the town planner town planner to produce a 2026 color printed calendar that would be mailed to every residence in Hillsborough. As always, the Township Calendar will be a collaborative effort with residents being asked to submit photos. For 2026, it will be our honor to highlight the work of local artists. The Township is collecting digital images of artwork created by Hillsborough residents. The artwork doesn't have to be Township related, but it would be preferred, I guess, when it's reviewed by the staff. With input from Hillsborough Express Yourself, or HEY, a subcommittee of Sustainable Hillsborough, the Township hopes this new format will promote the work of our creative community members and groups. And as Committeewoman Hand mentioned, there's art throughout the Township building displayed from all the schools. There's actually some new art out there from cardboard. So, but the theme this year is going to be local art. So look forward to seeing what comes in. National Day of Prayer, a little recap here. May 1st was a National Day of Prayer, which Hillsborough Township commemorated with a ceremony at the Garden of Honor. I was joined by Hillsborough residents, Hillsborough staff, and many of our police officers, and thanks to all who attended. as well as the event speakers, Bridge B. Sharma of the Central Jersey Hindu Association, Reverend Chris Kyle from the Shannock Reformed Church, and Vivek Rao from Hillsborough Maharaja Club. All speakers are part of the Hillsborough's Interfaith Community Network. Pies with Patrol on May 3rd. The police hosted a Pies with Patrol at Roman Gourmet. I joined the police along with Roy Fryman, and we stopped by their display and enjoyed their interactions with the community. So it's good for the business and good for the police, and you know, they spent a lot of time interacting with everybody walking by. Walk in the Park. I recently joined Hillsborough residents for another walk in the park. This picture is from May 3rd, where the guest speaker focused on walking, the benefits of walking, and the needs to stretch and warm up. The last walk was this past Saturday, and I think Deputy Mayor Payne attended, so May 10th was the last walk, and I think we'll see another series in the fall, or no? I guess it's up to me. So we'll, we might see another episode in the fall. Adopt a Highway. Some very special residents and high school students from the wrestling, track, soccer, and mentorship program dedicated their weekend time to participating in the Adopt a Highway / Clean Communities Cleanup Day for Route 206. So I want to thank the entire crew that showed up for that. They do it a couple times a year, and it just beautifies, continues to clean up and beautify Hillsborough. And lastly, the Rotary Fair is coming. Beginning Tuesday, August 12th, the annual Rotary Fair and Business Expo will once again transform the promenade into a classic carnival with a colorful midway, over 20 amusement rides, games of chance, fireworks, food vendors, and an expansive exposition of local businesses. The fair offers local businesses multiple opportunities to showcase their services and connect directly with customers through the purchase of a $350 sign displayed at the fair throughout the week, or a purchase of a $650 tented space that provides a unique opportunity to meet with prospective clients from the surrounding communities. So if anybody's interested in displaying or for more information to participate in this event, in the Business Expo side of it, contact Ken Genko at 908-229-5045, or his email at kgenco48@gmail.com. So that's how a business can get tied in with the Rotary Fair and all the traffic that comes along there. So stay connected with Hillsborough. As always, you can stay connected with all events via the Wednesday Mayor's e-News and Thursday's Experience Hillsborough Bulletin. Be sure to follow and like the official Hillsborough Township Facebook page, or X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram. Tune in to Hillsborough YouTube channel and sign up for Hillsborough alerts for traffic and emergency notifications. So we have 6 proclamations tonight, so I'm going to come down to the floor and we'll recognize some of you folks in attendance today. Okay, the first is Anjana Iyer. All right, Anjana Iyer, a chemistry specialist, special education teacher at Hillsborough High School, has the honor of being named the 23, all right, well, I'll make sure I get the year right. So, Presidential Awardee for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching. So, that's great. Unjana has been a chemistry teacher at Hillsborough High School for 14 years. She has a passion for making science accessible to all students, utilizing an instructional model and an inquiry-based approach. The United States government awards top honors to one educator per state that demonstrates deep content knowledge of the subjects they teach and the ability to motivate and enable student success. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, further commend Unjuna Iyer for being awarded the 2023 Presidential Award for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to recognize all the students and the staff tonight. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Hillsborough Township. Thank you so much.
You have anybody to take pictures? Your family, anybody? No? Okay. All right. We've got Cassandra. Cassandra Shannon, an English as a second language teacher at Hillsborough Elementary School, has the honor of being named the 2024 VFW Teacher of the Year. You can stand closer. Cassandra has been an ESL teacher at Hillsborough Elementary School for 17 years. She initiated Multicultural Mondays, which are school-wide video announcements that explain various celebrations and traditions throughout the school year. Cassandra created and co-taught an after-school program for multilingual learners, has organized and distributed donations of clothing and holiday gifts, obtained free eyeglasses, and obtained grants for supplies and snacks for all of her needy students. Cassandra Shannon hails from a family of veterans, including her Navy veteran father and Army veteran aunt. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the Mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, further commend Cassandra Shannon for being awarded the 2024 VFW Teacher of the Year and thank her for all her work and dedication to Hillsborough's youth. Well done.
I just wanted to say thank you to Mayor Ciccarelli, thank you to the Township Committee, and thank you to students and parents and teachers, and I hope everyone has a great rest of the school year.
Thank you. Is anybody here with you?
No. They're all, my husband's home with the kids, so.
Okay. Good.
Thank you, thank you so much.
Do we have anybody here for Vladimir Stabnoy? Yeah. Hello. Nice to see you again. All right. I actually. So I saw his headstone over the weekend. So it was very, very, not a coincidence, but good. Vladimir Stabnoy, a Hillsborough resident that is remembered for his commitment to beautifying Anne Van Middlesworth Park, passed away on November 8th, 2024. Vladimir was born in St. Petersburg, Russia, and journeyed to the United States in 1997. He graduated as a chemical engineer from the Leningrad Institute of Technology, and once settling in the United States, was a quality control chemist, a school custodian, and an employee at ShopRite. Vladimir was often seen picking up garbage and cleaning Anne Van Middlesworth Park. He was known for his kindness, generosity, and willingness to extend an open hand to everyone around him. Hillsborough Township has dedicated a memorial bench at Anne Van Middlesworth Park in his honor. We were at that event last weekend. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the Mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, recognize and honor the kindness and generosity of Vladimir Stabnoy. So it was a nice event. I know the Parks Department was very familiar with him, saw him at the park all the time, and they were very emotional about, his passing, and were very committed to dedicating not only the bench, but a special plaque on a rock at one of the gardens. So if you'd like to say something.
I would like to thank you all people who keep good memory of my husband, and especially I would like to say thank you for Township Committee, and especially for John Crossan, Supervisor of Park, who organize it and install that beautiful bench and memorial plate in the memory of my husband. Thank you.
Who's here from the South Branch Reformed Church? All right, thank you, Pastor. So the South Branch Reformed Church, it's their 175th anniversary. They were organized. South Branch Reformed Church was organized on May 14th, 1850, by 43 individuals desiring to have a Reformed church in their community. The church was built on land donated by the Merriman family and is now celebrating its 175th anniversary. The church building was dedicated on January 27th, 1851, and was expanded in 1964 to add space for an education wing, including classrooms, parlor offices, and a preschool. Members of the congregation have been active participants in local and global ministry and remain committed to serving the community, the families, and those who visit Hillsborough Township. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the Mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, congratulate South Branch Reformed Church and the entire church community on their 175th anniversary. Pastor, would like to say some words? No, you're going to pass.
Don't ever give clergy a microphone.
The pastor's going to pass.
Thank you. Take your picture.
Okay.
Because we won't shut up.
Thanks, Steve.
My priest would tell you the same thing. Father Hank never stops.
All right, the Legacy Show Choir.
Yeah.
And then Miss Wall.
I thought we were just underdressed tonight.
We didn't get the black, you got,
Very
I did.
nice. You look very nice.
You did.
I know. You wore blue.
spread out, kids. Like you're in a choral.
Oh, you got it?
And, you know, show formation.
We're gonna need 2 rows. 2 rows.
Come on. Tenors on the left.
You good?
We will ask you to sing.
Great. The Legacy Show Choir is the first ever curricular show choir in the state of New Jersey. They competed at the National Titan Tournament of Choirs in Richmond, Virginia, placing 4th in the mixed division, the National Rhode Island Show Choir competition, receiving a silver rating, and 2nd place in the medium mixed division with a specialty award for best costumes, and the 33rd annual Roxbury Invitational, receiving a silver rating, placing 2nd runner-up. So, well done. I graduated from Roxbury. Show choir members Brandon Javier and Rio Quampang and Scott Doyle, yes, were selected as outstanding performers at the competitions this season. The Hillsborough High School Legacy Show Choir is comprised of the following students and coaches. It's all to you now.
Sophia Bambachi.
Josh Godbole.
Ray Golden.
Grace Carver. Annika Dingari.
Max Petrick.
Amelia Patterson. Anushka Nair.
Zach Staskowitz.
Zoe Quinn.
Connor Ranchek.
Rio Campong.
Elsie Kerwin. Miriam Roble.
Catherine Whitman.
Brandon Javier.
Crow Gertzen.
Charlie McLaughlin.
Amelia Esposito.
Anaya Siddiqui.
Lilia Roberts Churchill.
Lily Dewey Ebner.
Eva Quinn.
Brianna Callens.
Austin Garjul.
We missed somebody. Come on.
Ashley Matthews.
Let's keep in track. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, do hereby commend the Hillsborough High School Legacy Show Choir, the choral staff, and parents, not only for their successful year, but for their hard work, dedication, and commitment to the arts, and to those principles of teamwork, academic achievement, and commitment to community which the organization endorses. So congratulations. You should be used to the mic.
No, I like my back too. I just want to say a quick thank you, not only to our phenomenal students who without them this program would not exist, but to our wonderful parents, our administration at the high school, and throughout the entirety of the district, to you, Mayor, and to the entire committee. We're really looking forward to this upcoming Veterans Breakfast. It's one of our favorite events of the year, so thank you for continuing to have us and supporting us. We were just named one of the best communities for music education in the country, and that's because of your support. So thank you so very much.
Can we do Tolly's Little Mouse? Ready, break, go, quick.
Formation. See, they know the formation.
They do. There we go. They do. And we don't have to move. We can't be seen anyway.
Just like that picture there.
Right. She did the costume, so she can take it along.
Thank you all.
Congratulations.
Is there any, how do we hear you? Where do we hear you? Tomorrow at the.
I just told you.
Sure. Keep it stay there. Thank you.
Going home with a lot of sweat.
And
The mixed choral? You get it.
We got a lagger. We got a double dipper.
Somewhere on the second.
Slightly smaller crowd. Some dupes. Some dupes. So the Hillsborough High School Mixed Choral, which is not really mixed right now.
That's true. That's pretty funny.
Received the following titles at the National Titan Tournament of Choirs Chamber and Concert Choir Competition. Best Overall Repertoire, Best Overall Vocal Quality, First Place in the Chamber Division, and Overall Grand Champions of Choirs. So, great. The mixed choral was also awarded a gold rating in the chamber division at 33rd Roxbury International and has received superior ratings at every competition they've attended since 2021. They've also been invited to perform at Lincoln Center. Great. Mixed choral member Milapa Gupta was recipient of Best Soloist at both the Titan Tournament of Choirs and the Roxbury Invitational. Hillsborough High School Mixed Choral is comprised of the following students and coaches. You've seen this before.
Siley Domley.
Elle Faraday.
Eva Quinn. Shri Prasad. Sharvi Gasavi. Teresa Alex.
Connor Ranchak.
Malab Gupta.
Zach Staskowitz.
Pranav Yanamandra.
Isaiah Whittlesey.
Max Petrick.
Austin.
Yash Godbole.
Darshini Wethen.
Sahithya Panamgipali.
Charlie McLaughlin.
Lily Dewey Ebner. Ati Sundar.
Thanks. All right. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the Mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, do hereby commend the Hillsborough High School Mixed Choral and director and parents not only for their successful year, but for their hard work, dedication, and commitment to the arts, and to those principles of teamwork, academic achievement, and commitment to community which the organization endorses. So congratulations. Say anything about this group?
They're really good.
What? So wait, hold on. I heard that. Was it?
See our concert tomorrow at the high school at 7 p.m. It's for free. For free.
She said it's for free. What time? 7. Did you say that? I missed it.
Yeah, so, and while they're taking a picture, just a show of hands from the audience, who would like to hear them sing a quick song because they're willing to do it? Can we see a show of hands? All right. So, if you're comfortable, yay. No pressure.
What about the rest? What about the rest who are sitting in the stands still? Aren't they? Come on, 2 different groups. All right, you don't want to bring them all together? All right, sounds good.
I felt bad. They're sitting there. And he stayed there all night long.
Thank you.
Like, shower, this room,
Yeah.
then, oh, sorry.
That is the most exciting thing that's happened in this courthouse, I assure you. What do we owe you?
Well, I think the South Branch Reformed Church, 175th anniversary of their high.
Pastor Steve, that was the best song for you, too.
Don't worry.
On those notes, that concludes our proclamations, and we'll take a quick break. 5 minutes.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
2 and 2.
Chuck Willard, 2 and 2.
Do we need to put a table out?
82 in.
All right, welcome back. All right, welcome back. Before we go to our consent agenda and the rest of the business portion, we have two presentations tonight. The first one is EnergTech. I believe they're going to be presenting by Zoom, so cue it up. Eva.
All right, can you see us okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Hillsborough Township Committee and Mayor for having us tonight. I'm going to share a presentation shortly. I'm Eva Garretts.
And I'm Kristen Tobias.
And we are the owners of Energetic. Okay. All right, so everyone can see that clearly? Okay. So Energetic is a women and minority-owned company that helps public entities in New Jersey manage their utility spend. We aim to lower costs for electric and gas, increase building efficiencies, and also assist with any type of sustainability efforts or projects. Our company partners with a group called Taurus Advisory Group, and together we hold energy auctions for Hillsborough. Together, Energetic and Taurus have been managing the commercial meters for the township since November of 2022.
So our main function is energy purchasing. So in the state of New Jersey, you're able to shop for the supply portion of your bill for both electric and natural gas. So we help the township facilitate those purchases so that the township can, gain a more competitive price. We also offer guidance and strategies on how to mitigate costs or to manage any type of increase from the utility companies. One of those increases that we wanted to really talk about was in June, all energy users for both homes and businesses in our utility region, which is PJM, stands for Pennsylvania, Jersey, and Maryland, but also includes some other states as well. We will see a surge in their electric costs because of the increase in capacity. And we are estimating that increase to be around 15% increase over the annual budget. How we are helping Hillsborough manage that increase. So we provided budget forecasting for the township. We've also implemented an energy product that would avoid paying a capacity premium, making sure that, you guys aren't paying more than what you should. And then also we have ongoing discussions on how to, lower energy usage during peak times to really mitigate those costs as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like light switching sensors or timers, which is what the township is doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the first contract that we had with Hillsborough, we were focusing on the electric accounts. So again, commercial meters and then looking at some lighting. So before working with Hillsborough, the electric accounts were in a third-party agreement with rates ranging from 14.5 cents to 20 cents a kilowatt hour. So our approach was to first look at and collect utility data, any previous contract information that we could collect and review. And then with our auction platform being state approved, Hillsborough was able to engage our team without having to do a competitive bidding process or not having to do an RFP or queue. Also, we executed a resolution, so Hillsborough was able to execute the energy contract on the day of our auction. And basically for the auction, we have all available energy suppliers bid at a certain time, certain day, they put their prices in, and then we have the township execute that contract, assuming the results are favorable as they were. So we looked at a fixed rate for electric, just 14 or so and a half cents. The contract also helped Hillsborough avoid incoming higher rates from the previous contract. And this was about a 10% decrease from the previous contract that the township was in. So looking at the current contract we are in now, we approached it slightly differently. For electric, we separated non-lighting meters and lighting meters to lower the cost for each group. We also did an auction for natural gas and looked at more of a market-based energy strategy, which leaves room for future hedging opportunities. That really just means that when the market dips, we have the opportunity to lock in the commodity at a lower rate instead of locking it all in upfront in a fixed product. So for electric, the market-based product we looked into is called an index adder. It again provides optionality and then enables the township to take advantage again of those market dips. So we locked in at 0.39, so about 4 cents a kilowatt hour. Putting this all together, this translates to about 10 cents a kilowatt hour if you're looking at it from a fixed point. And this is a 30% decrease from the previous contract that we did. So again, we also did natural gas this time around. We did a market-based product as well. That's called a basis. Also provides optionality. We have the opportunity to hedge when the market dips. We locked this in at just above 20 cents a therm. Translates to about 58 cents a therm if you're looking at it, again, from an all-in fixed perspective. And this is a 10% decrease from the utility company. Because again, natural gas was just with the utility company. Now it's in a third-party contract as electric is. And really next steps that we're focusing on is paying attention to the market, tariffs, everything that affects the energy price, and looking for those market dips so that we can lock in or hedge some portions of electric or natural gas for Hillsborough. And that's it. I guess we'll leave it open to any questions.
Thank you, Eva. Anthony, do you want to make any comments before we open it up to the...
No real comments. I just want to thank both ladies for being here this evening and just the relationship that they've had with Hillsborough and making sure that we're being fiscally responsible, especially when it comes to the fluctuation with energy prices. So I know some of the members here on the committee were able to have presentations by both ladies and I believe Nate as well. So if anybody has any questions here, but I thought the presentation was pretty straightforward.
Any questions for energetic from the rest of the days?
I'll just thank the ladies for coming. I know that this was a last minute because of our scheduled presenter had a family emergency. That's why they're on Zoom here today. Normally they would have been here in front of us, but the utilities business is a complex business, and obviously with the upcoming utility increases that they talked about up to 20%, it really is imperative that we have people like this keeping an eye out for us to prevent any undue spikes, which would dramatically increase cost to our bottom line and our budget. So thank you, Eva, and your staff.
Yep, thank you so much. Thank you.
There's nothing else. I guess we're good. Do we open for anything for the public or no? No.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good rest of the evening.
Our second presentation is Mr. Is it Floyd from Flynn? Yep. Bob Flynn from JCP&L. So please come on up.
Sure. I'm actually happy they touched on that because that's something we're presenting on quite a bit too, is the BGS rate. Oh yeah, I have this problem quite a bit. Yeah, it's always at the max whenever I have to do it too, so it never reaches my my height. Is this okay? Okay. So that is something actually we're presenting on quite a bit too, is the supply rates. That's what they were discussing, is this 20% increase for customers. So if there's a future want for that presentation, I can give that as well. But there's two very basically distinct charges on your bill. There's your consumption, what you use in your house. Then there's a supply charge from PJM. There is this 20% coming as of June 1st. We are kind of a pass-through for the charge. We don't mark up. We don't make money from it. We just pass it to the regional transmission operator, which is PJM. But it's clear what we're trying to do is make a distinct difference that this is not a JCP&L rate hike. We go to bid just like all these other companies do, and BPU oversees it, ensures it's fair market value, and unfortunately, that's the number. So anyway, but I'm not here about that tonight. I'm going to introduce myself first. I'm your new representative for JCP&L. My name's Bob Flynn. I've been with Jersey Central for 6 years now. My main territory is up in Boonton, which covers like eastern and northern Morris and Passaic County. Now I cover all of Morris County, all of Somerset, Union, Essex, Passaic. So I got a pretty big district, but the north is split between myself and Amy Overman, who covers out in the west in Hunterdon, Sussex, and Warren County. So nice to meet you all. Looking forward to working together in the future. I wish I was here for better reasons than the reliability that we've had recently. Obviously, a big concern. We had, I think it was 5 or 6 within like a few weeks. And this is a new district for me, so I'm kind of learning the territory as well. But that's a high amount that we see. Typically, unfortunately, I live on a circuit that has the same sort of issues. It's the Chester circuit. A lot of trees, a lot of private trees that are dead ash that haven't been removed are the reason for a lot of my outages. But luckily, we do have a plan in place that I'm going to discuss tonight. But I have some data as well that I want to go through. But I'll be cognizant of time, so I'm not going to read each thing in the pie chart. But we can jump in now. So this is the background, and just for information before I start too, circuit maps are things that we can't share with public. They're protected by Homeland Security. So we had to rename the circuits. Obviously, there's A, B, and C. Circuit A serves very minimal customers in Hillsborough. It's only 39. The bigger circuits are B and C out of Neshannock, which is about 500 to 600 or 700 per circuit. The past 5 years, we've had a lot of CMI's customer minutes of interruption. We've had a lot of equipment failure and line failure, particularly at that intersection. I think it's Elm and Pearl was where we've had a few issues in the most recent one. I'll get into the initial cause of what happened with that one, but tree and line failure was pretty much the biggest over the last 5 years that we've had for these 3 circuits. We've had obviously a lot of weather. We've had Isaias, we've had Irene, et cetera, I don't know if you were particularly affected by that, but a number of my other municipalities were. Isaias was very, very damaging. We had, I think, 900,000 customers out, and we did the research afterwards, and it was 88% of the cause of outages were tree outside of our normal trimming specs, where it's 10 feet on either side, and in certain areas, ground to sky clearance above. But that was a really, really big storm. We had a lot of transmission outages from that. The ones that happened recently for Hillsborough were the initial cause, this is an odd one, is most of my animal contact is squirrels or birds, or occasionally get like a possum or something that runs into a substation, into a breaker, and blows the whole thing up. I have photos if you ever want to see it. But this one was actually, we had, I guess it was a family of raccoons that were in the vicinity of this pole at Elm and Pearl. They created significant damage to our equipment. I don't know specifically if they were chewing through the rubber or things like that, or making actual contact from the wire to the pole. That was the reason for the first outage, and we kept responding to that, thinking that we had found the problem, and each week after, subsequently, we'd have to go back out to reconductor everything because it kept burning down. So we had other areas of kind of pinhole damage in that section. The last outage, the reason why it was like 6 or 7 hours was we replaced everything on the pole. And there is a plan, I think, to actively remove that pole and put a new one in with a stronger class. We can go to the next slide. So this is the breakdown and this one is for kind of each circuit. I don't want to rush through it because it's good data, but I want to be cognizant of time. The moral of this is the breakdown, and these are the reasons for our interruptions that we have in our service. So animal contact, forced outages, tree contact, whether inside our right-of-way, outside our right-of-way, car pole accidents. That's a really big one in my towns now, is a lot of distracted drivers on their phones. Underground dig-ins we've had as well here, unknown vehicle, and then obviously equipment failure, line failure, et cetera. But The thing I like to kind of preface before I go into it's easy to concentrate on equipment failure, line failure. What we have to remember, and just keep this in mind, is the linemen and linewomen are not trained investigators. When they show up to the scene, their first goal is obviously safety. They want to leave alive. A bad day for all of us is significantly different for a bad day for a lineman. So safety is the number one priority. Obviously, that's why restoration does take some time. But the second is that when the outage has concluded, we've restored customers, the crews do spend time searching to see if they can find a cause. Obviously, if it's an animal contact and it's the third or fourth in a few months, we put animal guards on. We do proactive measures to make sure that doesn't happen again. But if we're in big storm outages or non-blue sky day outages, it's usually just right to the next outage and emergency. So some of these numbers, although they are higher for equipment and line failure, I think some of these may be attributed to other factors. But big point for this circuit was the majority of them were between the three for each circuits were line failure / equipment failure, trees off right of way, and trees off right of way, and then I think, what's the next biggest one? Equipment failure, line failure, and then trees off right of way were the three biggest for kind of each of the three circuits. Next slide. So this is the breakdown, this is the pie chart. I'm not going to read everything, but this is the breakdown of what we have in terms of the outages for this particular circuit out of East Flemington. Majority of those were the equipment failure that discussed prior for that location. Then we have things like dig-ins, trees off right away, et cetera, vehicle, wind, animal contact. Next slide. This is the breakdown for in the Shannock Circuit B. This one is equipment and line failure, but also a big one was trees off right of way. We have to get permission to remove trees that are on customers' property. We have the rights by BPU to clear within 10 feet of our conductors. We can have refusals, so we document those to the BPU, that if there's bad reliability and they come back to us, we say, these 6 houses said we can't cut their tree, and it fell. So we do keep record of that, but that is a big portion of our outages in my forested communities is trees outside of the right-of-way, outside of our normal trimming specs. Next slide. Here's the pie chart for that. Again, we can move past this one. Same thing with this one for Neshannock C Circuit was equipment failure, line failure, and then trees off right away and trees on right away actually for Neshannock. So this one increased by 50% once we include the minor storm into our analysis. So there's regular blue sky outages, but then there's also minor storms, which aren't, tropical storm or hurricane level. Those are major events. Minor storms are run-of-the-mill kind of like summer thunderstorms that we're going to start to get in the next few months. Next slide. You can go past this one too. All right, so this is the next two slides are the big important ones in terms of what are we doing about it. So the East Flemington Circuit A, 2024, we had the engineers, we do have reliability engineers with JCP and all that. That's their sole job is when we get increased outages on a circuit, we start to receive a number of BPU complaints, et cetera. It kind of points the focus on those circuits of what can we do to improve the reliability. I mentioned to you before, I'm on a circuit out of Chester. It's been like 8 times since the beginning of the year since I've lost power. The second to last house on this circuit. I have no pull. I can't get crews there. I can't, et cetera. But it is a circuit that we have through reliability engineering. We have the RIP project, which is reliability improvement. It used to be formerly known as worst performing circuit, but it's a rotating list per district that changes each year where we allocate a certain amount of funds to basically improve the reliability for customers. So the Flemington Circuit was one in 2024. Neshannock was also 24, B and C. Both of them had thorough reliability engineering inspections. We installed new cutouts. We reconductored. We spacer cabled wire as well. And we've also done a ton of tree trimming on Zion Road. I think last year alone we got rid of 25 private trees, so outside of our normal trimming corridor that we have. We identified 25 that were in decline, and obviously the big one lately is the emerald ash borer affecting the ash trees. That's the biggest cause of our tree-related outages. And then on the right, you can see that's the inspection cycle. So we do proactively inspect our equipment through infrared camera. We also have forestry cycle trimming that we do, where we'll send the administrator, usually the mayor, the list of where we're trimming that year, coordinating with police. And then we have wood inspections, which is done through Osmos. So if you get calls in the administration that there's someone digging near my pole, there's someone just put a drill through the pole in my front property, that's Osmos testing the structural integrity of the poles to make sure that they're up to snuff to handle our equipment. But we do have issues like termites. We do have people who hit it or side swipe poles, affect the structural integrity. So that does happen from time to time, but that is something that is ongoing per district. I know I'm already going over my 5 minutes. I apologize. But this is the big project. So we have, after the report that we saw for how many outages we had in Hillsborough that were out of both of those substations, we are identifying these circuits. I called them RIP before. This is one now that we're going to do. So this is special funding that we've allocated to basically install and replace 25 new poles across arms with fiberglass, so they're not wood anymore. They won't decay. And then we're also doing another round of tree trimming on Zion Road, because that is a road that, again, I haven't driven that road, but I know it connects to there's two different circuits on it, and I think two subs that meet at some point on there. So if we have that, we have Hillsborough customers that go out, but we also have, I think, Branchburg and one of the other adjacent towns that's affected by that road as well. So this is something that's going to be coming. The goal is to have this work designed and completed before the end of the summer storm season. So that's like the next few months you're going to start to see poles on the road, and that's us replacing them. Yeah, it's okay. We can, if you want to go to questions, I think that's probably.
Yeah, so my first question is, can we share this? I mean, we skipped over stuff. People love to look at data, but can you share the presentation or any elements of it with the township? You have it?
Yeah, so as long as the circuit information is not in there.
Well, A, B, and C is, right, your designation to just
yes,
hide it, but
the map on the first page is the one. But I can work with you actually if you want, because we've been doing for the RIP circuits, we've been doing one sheets for our towns of the benefit for customers, and it's simple. It's not as kind of complicated as this is, where I'm used to it in the utility. It's a lot more simpler terms that you can put on Facebook, and residents will understand.
Yeah, Bob, why don't you just work with Sarah in our office just to
Sure.
let us know what we can't post.
Sure.
Ms. Miniman Britting is chomping at the bit.
No, because you have two of your customers sitting right over there. I introduced myself to them over there, and I know when I was mayor last year, I received a lot of challenging emails and phone calls from people I know and people I didn't know who were dealing with JCP&L issues and all in that area. So I appreciate you replacing the 5 poles. And I work for a large company, 25 poles, excuse me. Sorry, I didn't mean to minimize it. I work for a large company outside this too, and I know sometimes things take time. And I think what's important too is to maybe show the residents what a 3-year plan would look like of what you would do to try to make that a better place as well for them too, because they live in an area that's very hard to access, as you know, crews and all that type of stuff, because it's up the side of a mountain. People don't realize it. A lot of that's mountainous and a lot of forest area. I would request, and I know you're a utility organization, but if you could potentially give a 3-year outlook as to what you guys think you could invest in that area to try to help them out would be really helpful.
Yeah.
Because they are literally at your mercy.
I can give them my
Completely
card
at your mercy, so that's all.
and have a reliability engineer reach out to them.
Absolutely.
And also inspect the circuit, inspect the secondary
Sure.
that feeds their house. That's
Yep.
something we do.
Yeah, absolutely, that'd be great.
I
I
can do
appreciate that.
I think that information could be, that's great that you want to offer it to the people who were nice enough to come to the meeting, but that information should be made, available to anyone else in our township that would have questions around that reliability study.
That is my goal.
Okay.
So we just had a meeting. We have a new state president as of like a few months ago, and the big thing that I've told him is that there's always been this kind of veil of secrecy for the utilities, and understandably on purpose. I get it. We can't be putting out circuit information, when there's all sorts of cyber threats and things like that. But we also need to be a little bit more proactive with how we say we're investing. I mean, we're putting hundreds of millions of dollars into some of our municipalities, and we're not saying a word. And I've kind of rung that bell at the top, being like, this is what our towns want to hear, we're not Band-Aiding. We're not doing these sort of temp repairs where we're just going to have to come back in a week. There's major upgrades at substations coming on our distribution circuits. I mean, even this slide, I was really hoping I was going to get more from my reliability engineering than we're going to replace 25 poles and cross arms. I wanted details. I wanted, you know, if we're going to put a recloser on one of those eventually, that we can kind of switch customers to different circuits. So I had that conversation directly with the state president last week of we need to be more on the offensive rather than reactionary, where we get called into these meetings saying you're not doing enough, you're not doing enough. We need to be coming in weekly to our municipalities to say, this is what we just put in. This is a brand new piece of equipment that's going to, you know, this south end of town that kept losing power last summer, this is going to be able to do, you know, A, B, C now. So that is coming. It is coming.
Also, may I say too, if you have any ideas of pilots that you might want to run in certain towns, we're a very well-run town. So if you want to reach out to Mr. Farrar, Ms. Brake too, there's opportunities to work with us in other ways, and we have a really good communication platform here too. Very transparent in what we tell everybody. Everybody knows exactly what's going on here. So if there's the information, never too much information to share with them that they can then get out to the community.
That would be great.
That's very important.
We
They're very good at it.
And I can tell from,
Yeah.
in all honesty, it's one of the better
Yeah, we don't mess around. Like, we want
presentations
people to know
I've
what's going on.
had.
They deserve the right to know what's going
The
on.
reports
Yep.
as well. Yeah, very well
100%.
done.
Yep.
So I have a question. So you
Sure.
mentioned specifically Zion Road.
Mhm.
And then considerably at that same time, my girlfriend was on Hockenberry.
Okay.
She was out for 5 days with 2 dogs and no access to medicine or water or anything. So the unfortunate thing is that most of those people in those areas are well septic. And so they can't flush toilets, they can't get water, they can't do anything. And then being down for 5 days, she had 6 trees on her front blocking the road. So people were crossing her yard and
Bypass them. Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
And this was 6 long days before she started even getting crews. I had called our own DPW to get them there and like help her get out. The reality is we also need a plan in place for these folks to say, we know you're on a troubled street with a delicate line or whatever this situation is. So hopefully these 25 polls do rectify, you know, a considerable amount of the data that you showed us.
Yeah.
What is your plan for these specific troubled areas, though, in these situations? Is there a heightened response time? Is there any plan? Like, are you aware of these, you know, hot roads, if you will, that are going down frequently, that are constantly an issue? And what is your plan to rectify those?
So Zion specifically, yes. I don't know anything about Hockenberry. I'd have to
Okay.
look into that one.
Fair. You don't
Personally,
know every road in Hillsborough? Come on.
Not yet. Give me a month. But no, I think just to backtrack a bit, I think it's important also that customers, we need to plan as well. I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and tell you the next hurricane that hits the state of New Jersey, we're
Yeah.
going to be okay. Like, we're going to have people potentially out for a week or two. But
Yeah.
I think that customer, if they're not enrolled already in critical care and well water, they should be on that list because they do get priority. Obviously, during storms, we have, that was part of the slide deck. I probably shouldn't have skipped, but we don't have to go back. But we do have a list in terms of how we prioritize restoration.
Okay.
Briefly, typically in the beginning, it's life and limb emergencies. A
Right.
cop has a wire on his car.
Sure.
You know, line dancing near a leaking oil tank at someone's house. Like, those are, crew is there.
Clearly.
We're cutting the power and we're going to the next. It's also important, I think, for each municipality to have a good plan with their OEM in terms of,
We do.
we have to evacuate people? Do we have to prioritize this road for a road opening? And what we've worked with after Sandy is we developed it's called the Priority Restoration Unit.
Yes.
It's a separate department that opens up when we have a major storm that the procedure and the way it operates is the municipal OEM will funnel the priorities to the county, explaining the necessity of prioritization. The county OEM kind of racks and stacks them for us as JCP&L, and we are able to then move them up in the list in terms of not necessarily restoration,
Right.
but clearing a path for customers. Like, if we have road closures or if we have wires down on customers' property near them, that's a public safety issue. That is, you know, piece number 1 of the restoration process.
sure.
So I think that should be something that customer looks into, is just to, 1, have a plan, 2, to make sure that they're enrolled in our critical care and well water.
Okay.
Big storm, obviously, it may not make a huge difference when we're having,
Right.
you know, 700,000 customers out, but a blue sky day outage, that customer gets priority. We respond to those quicker, people that are on oxygen. And that program operates where annually that person has to provide a doctor's note from their physician indicating that they are on a piece of life-saving equipment. Or, need refrigeration for insulin or, things like that.
Right,
But they basically need a doctor to verify each year, and we keep them on that list, and there's special communication and priority that goes to those customers. So
Yeah,
if
this
they're,
was a weird situation. It was a supercell that hit their street.
oh,
And there was so much down on the road that literally they were working from both ends of Hockenberry in, and she happened to be,
The house that
unfortunately,
was-
in the middle. And
Yeah.
It was just like the worst of all situations. But it's nice to know that there are other protections and other plannings that are being,
yeah.
offered to them.
Between you and I brought up Zion Road to my forester because I think I got an inquiry from a different municipality about it. I don't know if the road splits between two or not.
Montgomery.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got it from him, and he laughed initially because he goes, "I just got rid of almost 30 trees there last year that were like not part of our normal
Yeah.
cycle, just because it's that bad in
Yep.
that area. I guess there's such a canopy over
There
the
is,
road."
it's a mountain, yeah.
Yeah. But that is part of that plan, is also to address that going outside the normal trimming cycle again.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being here, though, too. I think it's important to note. I mean,
Yeah.
I really appreciate you being here. You
No,
work
of
for the
course.
utilities. We need to find a way as a group to always work together, so thanks for being here.
That's
I
the
know we're
biggest part
running
of
more than the 5 minutes. I just got one question, just because
Sure.
I'm inquiring. So all the upgrade technology and the new stuff you're putting in, has they improved the ability to, if there's a power outage, be repaired as opposed to the old stuff? Are they designed like almost like plug and play, rip one out, put it on, it takes much less time to repair than, let's say, the older technology?
Yeah, the work still takes time. There's a lot of safety protocols with it, obviously. But there's a lot of automation now with it. Very careful automation, I would say, for first responders. I'm a social member now. I was volunteer for a firehouse in Morris Township, and we installed trip savers, the last infrastructure improvement plan, which was automatic fusing. So normally if a fuse blows, you hear that boom, you'll get calls, or 911 will get calls saying a shotgun. I heard an explosion. It's the fuse popping out of the cutout. The whole process after that is the troubleshooter has to come out, he has to identify the location, then he has to patrol the whole circuit to make sure when he throws it back in, it's not gonna blow back in his face in the bucket. That takes time. Trip savers are automated fusing that will attempt to operate themselves 3 times before they do it. So that's a big one we just got from S&C, and it's big in Florida and Power and Light. And then the other, I'm really going over, I apologize for my time frame, but the other big news we had from last week is we filed for the BPU for $900 million to do a program called Energize NJ, which is basically upgrading a lot of different stuff from substations, distribution circuits, et cetera. We got approved for not the $900 million, it was only $200, which we're hoping for more, but we're going to get to work on it and start engineering that. The goal of that project that we indicated to the BPU was, normally if we have a circuit that goes out, we have an area called, the first mile out of the substation is called the lockout zone. If you have a tree that falls in that area, it takes out the whole circuit. All 1,500 people are out. The goal after Energize NJ is complete is that we will utilize loop schemes and reclosers and tie points where basically we will have the substations connected to some degree. So if you're at your home on a stormy night in the summer, you hear a tree fall, you look outside, you see it, you and your neighbors go out of power. The goal after all of this is said and done is to have, the 10 houses that are going to be out, they get it. They just saw this gigantic tree fall, it broke 2 poles in front of their neighbor's yard, they get it. But the other 2,000 people on that road shouldn't be affected. They should not lose their power, and the goal is that they won't, and that their clocks won't change. It'll just switch immediately to a different circuit. So that's going to be a big thing that we're looking forward to do over the next few years, is this kind of loop scheme, reclosers, tie points, et cetera. So that's the goal.
All right, thanks. Just two more comments, or 2 angles here. One is, on a proactive sense, how often, and you don't have, maybe you should consider how often your resiliency engineers drive the roads. It's a day, what do you think? Maybe half a day to drive the roads, see and what brings this to my mind is the raccoon family. Like, if there was problems there, how did it get to that point? And are there other pieces of equipment that can be inspected that see a problem here already, and before it gets to that? But if you're replacing all your equipment, you're going to install redundancy and take care of that. So, but that I don't know if it means an extra trip a week or what have you during this time of year. On the trees, what, so when you clear the vegetation, it doesn't matter if it's dead or not, right? When you have your right of way, but
Correct.
when you say there's a tree that's on private land and they refuse to let you do it, is it living or dead? I mean, I would expect.
Most of the time dead,
Yeah.
but if it's in decline, if it's ash that still has some leafing at the top, like it's not fully dead yet, some residents really like to apply, like there's like other things they can do to try and bring it back to life. We will go and just say like, this is gonna fall, it's gonna break 2 poles. Like, we come to an agreement with each of the homeowners.
And you have that list on at-risk trees.
Yes, oh, definitely.
So,
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if it's worth sharing with us or not, but, you know, I mean, that's obviously a high-risk area. If there's strips of, if it's all in one place, that's great. At least it got
Right.
focused. But if it's all over, you're just as much at risk if you have a lot of those spots. So,
And you'll start to see them now too. We've switched from ribbon. We used to do ribbon. Now it's a spray paint that we do on trees that we're planning to remove. So you may start to get those inquiries, but
what do you, is it a red pink X? Or
I
what's
think,
the?
yeah, because there's some near my house that they're doing that work for, and they're going to remove some of those trees, and it's a red. It's
Red
faded, but it's a red X. It's
Okay.
not bright, and going to have residents call in. But additionally, as the governing body, but also residents, there is a form online that you can submit if you are concerned about a tree on your property, because sometimes it is beneficial for us to come out and remove it before it is fully dead.
So will you remove it?
We will, but it's circumstantial on the terms.
I mean, not one over here, but if it's over here,
if it's
right?
if it's near our equipment, if it's in decline, if we don't have to use a crane, et cetera. And then there are agreements that we have with the customers, but also municipalities. So some customers like the wood left. So sometimes we'll say, we'll drop it for
Right.
you. We'll cut it into 3-foot, 6-foot sections and leave it right here. And they'll say, perfect, done.
Yeah, our DPW, I think, does the same.
And
similar
right,
thing.
and then we have some that if the town are putting to us, I'll say, I can take it, I can drop it, but can you take the wood? Or can you give me a cot for a half a day? Like, we find sort of like a balance between both parties of, yeah, it's important to you, then we'll take care of it.
So maybe there's something on that end that we can collaborate on to.
It's something we
move
like
it
to do
forward.
quite
Yeah.
often.
So we can
Yeah,
get that word out that if you do have a tree that you think is
Yep.
eligible for this, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Is
Yeah,
there
that's
also
under
some-
service requests on our website.
Yeah, I was just going to say, along that thread, is there also something, if I see a raccoon going into a box, could I report that
Yes,
kind of
please.
stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
and in terms of like animal guards, it's again always been for birds, squirrels,
Right,
like
right.
small kind of creatures.
Yeah.
Like raccoons was a first for me for this one, and it's only because they found them afterwards.
We have
that
a
they could-
family that's terrorizing a light pole near my house.
Do you really?
A street light pole. Yeah. So it's
Okay.
you're fine. It's PSE&G. So.
Still, it's sounding like a problem now, though, in town.
No, they got it. They did. But it a light pole is very expensive, much
Yeah.
more than a regular person would think. So
And it's dangerous too. I mean, if
It's
they
so
burn
dangerous.
it down, there's
Yeah.
a fire. That wire's on
Yeah.
the ground live. Like,
yeah.
So two things, Mr. Flynn, while you're here. I think Anthony has a comment.
Yeah,
and then-
just 2 things. Just I wanted to thank Bob not only for coming out, but being very responsive to our office and looking at some of the things for the residents. Also, we did reach out to some of the residents that are here tonight. I know we did have a presentation before with no comment, but we did ask the public to come out if they did have some questions. So if the mayor and the committee would allow, I know they've been here for quite a while. If they had any questions, I know Bob said he'd be willing, and he's been very transparent and a good guy about this. Most people run from this type of conflict, and Bob's willing to come out here and said,
6 years.
you know,
So,
exactly. Thank you.
By all means, if, so
Yeah,
we may have
fine by
a
me.
couple of questions from the residents? Yeah. So, yeah, come on up. Can you,
Yeah, I just wanted to, I don't know what grid we're on. We live on Riverside Drive and the corner of Riverside and Clawson Avenue in Hillsborough here. And when a raccoon event occurred, when he lost power like 3 days in a row, I just want to know if are we on that grid, wherever that, is that Zoin Mountain?
Yeah, I don't even know if we want to go back to the slide deck, if you could tell from that map or not.
Okay.
But you may be able to see
Yeah, and we're always kind of the last, because there's like, we got 10 houses only on Riverside Drive. You know, it turns into Mill Lane. We're kind of the last to get the power back constantly. I'm too old to go out with my generator anymore and whatever. Who makes the calls on, you know, we get a message, the power's going to be on at 2 o'clock. Then we get a message, the power's going to be on at 5 o'clock. Then we get a message, the power's going to be on at 8 o'clock or whatever. You know, that's the frustration that we have, that has occurred lately with us. So anything you can do to better that for us would be appreciated. And if you can help me with not losing the power when I'm watching a big game or something. That's
timing.
like occurred a couple times, you know, I'm going, oh, man. But anyway, but thank you so much for your help. We really, thank you, sir. We really appreciate it. And, you know, if there's anything you could do to make it a little better for us in that area, we'd appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
If we could tomorrow move to public service, we would do that. I mean, I don't think there's anyone in our area that's satisfied. And my son lives on Amwell, happens to have not as frequently as us. The problem we have is we don't see your trucks. So we don't think you're out there enough. We see public service all of the time. We do not see you. So there's an issue with your company. And I thank you for the presentation today, but we've got to see results.
Absolutely.
Because honestly, if I showed you the chat, you'd be embarrassed.
I see them quite often.
It's not a secret.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I'll say this too. I mean, there's no incentive for us, as I mentioned before, to ban the equipment, but we're going to have to go back
Okay.
out the week after. The goal is, I mean, we are a business. We want to keep our customers' meters spinning. And when we see the frequent outages that we had in Hillsborough, we put plans like this in place to address it, to make sure it won't happen.
Like, I'd like to go back and say to my neighbors, you know, I think this is being addressed, but if next week it happens again,
Right.
it's like, it's just terribly disappointing.
Yeah, I would think you could probably look for some of the benefits to start at the end of the summer, would be after the design and the installation of the
Okay.
equipment. I think that's when we'll probably start to see a lot of.
Well, we're afraid, because as soon as the air conditioning kicks in, that's when we seem to have the problem. So hopefully you're going to be able to control that.
Yeah, and please send me an email too, if you're noticing any sort of voltage issues at your house, or if your AC unit's tripping breakers or things like that, send that to me, and I'll get it to
Okay,
you live.
and you're going to give us a card?
Yeah.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
All right, thank you. Any other comments?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you all. I believe just a few for police chief,
Chief's right there.
He's right there,
That's
so you can give it to him.
He's dialed in on you already.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to the consent agenda, we have end of presentations, I think 16 items. And reminder, we're going to hear all comments from the dais, then from the floor, first on the consent items. After that, if any committee member would like to take any item separately for voting purposes, we'll give you the opportunity to do so at that time. So, do we have any comments from the dais on items 1 through 16?
Yep, I have one. So I'm going to start with number 2, quick question. Mayor, this was for Schaefer Fireworks. I just looked back, since 2019, we've been using Interstate. They didn't bid. I thought that was kind of interesting. Only Schaefer bid for fireworks. You know, just as this is obviously a dangerous activity, they're, I think, only carrying like $5 million in coverage. Do we have any, thoughts on why Interstate didn't bid, and how do we, do we have any reference for Schaefer?
You want to say something, Bill?
Well, actually, because I reviewed the contract.
I know you reviewed the contract, but go
I
ahead.
talked to Griffin, and he said because Interstate had conflicting events, so they wouldn't be able to accommodate it.
Yeah, I was going to say that, and we also have no control over that, but yes. And then Bill looks at that to make sure that whoever's bidding follows the guidelines, and so.
Liability is the same?
Yeah.
Or I should say coverage is the same.
State requirement.
All right, thank you for that. My second question was around, so Mayor, shared services, this is number 15 is what I'm looking at. This was shared services, we were including Manville. Just in general, my question is, just from a percentage perspective, do we know how often Hillsborough inspectors are going out to other towns, and how often other town inspectors are coming into Hillsborough?
Sure, I can answer that, if you don't mind, Mayor,
Go
since
for
I'm the one handling it. So anytime we can get another town to team with us to provide services, obviously we want to say yes, because across the entire state, there's a shortage of all inspectors, whether it's electrical or plumbing or any kind of inspectors. So the acting administrator for Manville had reached out specifically for fire. So spoke to our construction official, Mr. Fiedler, spoke to Ed Allett, our fire inspector, and they're not taking time away from the day here in Hillsborough. That would be after hours or weekends. So the 5 towns have agreed to the same price, because we don't want to compete with each other, because then one town will take all of the inspectors. So we agree in the shared service, we all pay the same price for our inspectors, and we don't impact the other towns. So we use them when we can. So if it's in the evening, early in the morning, late at night, weekends, and it just depends on that project. So Manville really just needs fire inspector. But we might need Manville, so the group of all the administrators always agrees that the more people we can add, the more inspectors, it helps us. But it's not going to impact Hillsborough in any way or take away from the jobs here in the town, because I wouldn't allow that.
Okay, well, I read it, so just to clarify, it sounds like the inspectors would not be leaving Hillsborough during the, normal working hours. This is only nights and weekends. And then, again, all towns are paying the same, as not to incentivize and steal each other's inspectors.
Correct.
Okay,
That's
and we're
correct.
just adding Manville, and it sounds like the other mayors were, or the other township administrators were positive.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, bottom line is everyone's short inspectors, and anything that we can do to help each other get through projects. As we know, we've had, 3 inspectors up for jobs that we posted today, right? So it's actually a necessity almost now to help each other, because otherwise things wouldn't get done.
Yep.
So I guess to answer the question, the answer is no, then we don't have data, or we do have data that supports how many inspectors go from where to where?
Sorry.
Do we track that?
It would just depend. I mean, we don't track that. We have so much tracking of our own town on what we're doing for every inspector that uses multi-license. We have so many different things that we track
So
now
yeah,
to track
yeah.
somebody on a part-time basis. It doesn't matter to me what if they want to do on nights or weekends, or I don't track that data. I track our own internal data.
Well, and I think the reason, thank you, Deputy Mayor, because the reason I was asking was, I believe there are Hillsborough inspectors leaving Hillsborough, would be using Hillsborough equipment, and they're on our, God forbid, workman's comp, that sort of thing.
Yeah, they're not. So they're not leaving on
either way.
Yeah, so it would just be, they're hiring them as a part-time people, just like we'd hire a responsibility. So those other towns have that responsibility for those employees. They're their employees as well, on a part-time basis. So if I'm working in Hillsborough right now, if I work part-time in another town somewhere else on those hours, that town would be responsible for my time. Like, there's many administrators that work in multiple towns, and there's multiple clerks that work in multiple towns, and
How, Administrator Ferrer, how long have you been doing this shared service for building services?
with the other towns, God, Bill, how long? It's been a long time. For the other 4 towns, my God, as far as I can
Yeah, you have
remember.
to ask John Fiedler.
Yeah,
Is it like 25 years, or is it like 5 years?
it's more than 10, 15, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I actually have we're going to have Franklin come to my house, because it'd be a conflict of interest if somebody inspected my air conditioning unit. So So we're reaching out to Franklin to have them come.
And if he does something wrong, that's Franklin will be covering
And
him.
then, yeah,
Or her.
my dog bites him. Any other comments from the dais? Any from the floor?
Well,
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for all your help.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
All right, good night.
Okay, wait, I'm sorry, so hold on, because we weren't done. So going back to number 15, real quick, I pulled up the contract, and under Clause C, responsibility, all property liability, auto liability, workman's compensation claims shall be the responsibility for the employing township, regardless of where the incident that caused the claim arises. So when I read it, it appeared that Hillsborough, and that's why I was asking about how often, are we sending folks out versus folks coming in? Because if the liability is ours, just trying to understand, are we benefiting from the shared services agreement or not?
Yeah, we are.
And I understand there's a shortage of inspectors, so.
Yeah, we are. I guess as Committee on Lapani just mentioned that we have 3 full-time inspectors that we haven't been able to hire in 2 years. So we're constantly borrowing from the other towns as well. So I think it's a shared liability. Unless, Bill, you want to chime in on our liability, but we've never had an issue.
It does not say shared liability. I'm looking at the
No,
contract.
I'm asking Bill if it's a shared liability.
No,
if
she
all-
read that correctly, that the municipality that employs the worker is responsible for all employment and workers' compensation coverage.
Okay.
So I think my point is that I think we should get some data on, and I understand it's part-time, but if there has to be some sort of a call center, I'm making, some sort of aggregator where townships are saying, hey, I need a fire inspector, a plumber, and whatever, I need this type of inspector, and a certain township is sending somebody. That should be tracked so that we understand where we're at in this agreement and what liability we're having. My other comment, real quick, is I think these, and I'm ballparking here, I think these are an average of like $76,000 positions. So we're looking at like $36 an hour. If we're only making 50, and by the way, we haven't paid for, the vehicle, the gas, anything else, it may be a losing proposition. So just wanting to really understand the specifics of this so that we make sure that this is beneficial for our township. Again, I acknowledge that we have a lack of inspectors, but we want to make sure from a financial perspective that we're not losing money on this deal.
Yeah, I can assure you we are not.
I
But
would feel
again,
better
you're
seeing
making
data.
it-
I appreciate your assurance, Administrator.
I
I'd
know,
like
you're
to see
making it
data.
sound like there's some aggregator, that there's a call center. There's not. So if I'm hired by Manville part-time, the construction official is calling me and saying, hey, Anthony, can you work on Saturday? I have 3 inspections.
But they're using a
So-
township vehicle. No? Or liability? Do we have any information on that?
Yeah, I can check with Mr. Fiedler, but if you're going to make the towns do all this back and forth and data, I don't, we're trying to make it flexible, and we don't want to make it difficult where people don't want to come here.
Administrator, I'm not
So-
trying to make anything difficult. I'm trying to understand the financial liability that our town has in entering this shared service agreement so that it is beneficial for the town of Hillsborough.
Okay.
Why don't you give us an idea how much that's going to cost before you get into an in-depth study? But I think looking at the contracts probably makes sense, and talk with John.
Yeah, I'll talk
definitely.
to John.
Any other comments from the dais? Items 1 through 16.
I do. I have one last question. This was on number 8. A comment here, an observation was that this was a 6.5 month. This was going to the CFO. This was going for Phoenix as a consultant. The agreement was 6.5 months, but it talked about $2,000 a month and $14,000. It should be it should say $13,000 since it's 16.5. And then besides that kind of math piece, this seems like it would be a redundant service. And I do understand, and I read the backup regarding Nancy Costa and her, you know, and the funding that the township paid while she helped onboard Alicia, which we'll leave that where it is. This seems to be a redundant service. So just wanting to understand more from the mayor.
Mr. Ferrara?
No, I think maybe the finance committee, and because they had this discussion with me.
I think that, of course, this is a not-to-exceed contract. He could be here a month and we could say, he's good, and he leaves, right? So you have a new CFO coming in that they want to have a quote-unquote transition period. Yes, the budget will be done, but there's still some things for him to learn. Obviously, as you can meet, Mr. Monzo is a very talented and knowledgeable asset for the township to use. So I think having him here for a month or 2 months, I think for the $2,000 it may be, is a valuable training tool for our incoming CFO and provide some coverage for everyone in the office. Do I think that Joe will need to be here till December 31st? I doubt it. I think it's just provides a coverage, and again, it's a not-to-exceed contract. And I don't think Joe expects to be here till December 31st either, in my conversation with him.
Yeah, and as far as redundant services, and I've said this up here multiple times, that there's an unbelievable need for CFOs throughout the state, and we're lucky to have a person that is a CFO and has their license. As we know with Alicia, we did the 3 months with Nancy, and that she had just was going for a test. So this gentleman has a CFO license, but we all feel from the Finance Committee that it would be beneficial to have someone like Joe from Phoenix Advisor to work through all the new things that he's going to be learning, just like Alicia did for those 3 months she was there. So we want this to be successful, and I think it's extremely important that the new CFO comes on with that mentor and with the experience that Joe has. I think you've all seen the type of experience he has, almost 40 years. It's very well needed, and we want to end up with a successful CFO. So as long as it needs for the amount, I think it's not redundant, and I think it's going to be very important and beneficial. To answer your question, you asked me if I thought it was redundant. I don't think it's redundant at all, especially for someone coming onto a new town. Joe understands the town. He's been working with the town for the past few months. He's done the budget, and that's going to take months. It took months with our last CFO, 3 months, which cost us a lot more money than 6 months.
Well, but we're not going to throw good money after bad. That being said, keep in mind, Joe has been here for 2 months. He's done a fabulous job. But Joe's been here for 2 months, so I don't know how long. Hold on, but I don't know how long he would need from a transition standpoint. He even admitted that he didn't obviously know the town or the intricacies. He came in and filled that void for 2 months. So if we only think it's going to take a month or two, then that's what the contract should be written for.
You're talking about separate things.
So please.
Joe was here without Christian. Christian is here now, and then the transition. Wouldn't you rather set our new CFO up on solid footing to have all of the expertise under his belt, and then this nominal fee that we're paying the consultancies goes away? Or we can be in the same situation where we had a poor CFO, poorly transitioned, to a CFO, and we're left in a situation where there's now an upstart and a continual learning process for the next CFO. This CFO has the certifications. We're trying to set him up on the best foot possible to cost as little as possible. This is a significantly less incurrence to the taxpayers than what we had before. And again, it will not take the full, everyone has already admitted, both the administrator, Sean, and the Joe from Phoenix, that it will not take, there's no expectation that it'll take the full 6 months.
Yeah, as soon as Christian feels comfortable and that he's good, then he'll let us know that. We want to do it. Transition's important.
I
For
think
sure.
Hillsborough Township residents are best served if we have one of the most well-known financial people in township finances working here as a consultant. And that's one of the reasons that we brought him on to do what he did during that transitionary phase. And I think we are going to be a better off town with his expertise. And again, this doesn't have to go for the full length. We have the right to make that determination, but we want to set ourselves up and set Christian up for success. I fully support keeping the best and smartest, bright minds in front of our finances. Hands down, I think it's the right move.
So I think Christian, it's like 142 plus the 25, so Christian's being paid, I think, 167. You said he was
25
qualified.
is not all
He's
his.
got, I'm sorry?
The 25 is not all his. That 25,000 is prorated for the year.
Right, but, okay, so
And
he's
for the-
making
and
a
for the-
167 per year prorated for this year.
And
How's
for
that?
the record, he's
Not even
not being
close.
paid any more, any less than the last CFO, and it's in the budget. I just want to
I
make it.
didn't say he did, I'm just
I
saying
know, but
this
you were
is,
just putting numbers, like
this
it's
is
like
a-
this exorbitant amount of, it's the same money that the last CFO was paid, and it's in the budget. It's not anymore. I just want, just for the record, that's all.
understand.
Okay, thank you.
My point was, it's a well-paid position. He has the qualifications. You would think there would be, a 2-week, a month transition. I don't know why we would enter into a 6.5-month contract to have somebody, overlooking.
It's not standing for 6 months, it's a month-to-month basis. So it's not it's a month-to-month basis, not to exceed. We paid Ms. Costa for 3 months last time, $39,000 to stay there with our last CFO, who didn't have the experience of Mr. Monzo. So it could be 2,000, 4,000, maybe out to 12, but still, as Mr. Britting said, it is better to have good people and learn and have a good start for the benefit of Hillsborough than to try and save $4,000 and say, all right, you're on your own for a little while. If you have a question, call me. I know, as a business owner, training is imperative, right, for an employee and for this. When I have someone come in here.
And for retention.
And for retention, it costs you 6 times more to hire a new person than to retain a person. So for the $12,000, I stand to differ that even if it did take that long for him to get comfortable, is money well spent. We spent $15,000 we're going to spend $15,000 on fireworks, to put it in perspective.
Well, for the year, the financial, what word do I want to use? The function of the CFO changes over the year. So he may not have anything in August, but then come September, October, as the year starts to close out, he may have something that he needs consulting on, so.
Yeah.
And I think the redundancy was the fact that we have bond counsel and we have the auditor. We have lots of different folks that are more than happy to take calls from CFOs and absolutely support them. So thank you very much for the input.
Any comments from the floor for items on the consent agenda, 1 through 16? Seeing none. Would anybody like to take a motion separately?
I would like to take number 8 separately.
Okay. So we have a motion. So I need a motion and a second to approve consent agenda 1 through 16 at less number 8.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand?
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne?
Yes.
Mayor Chicarelli?
Yes. Sorry, jumping the gun there, sorry. All right, may I have a motion and a second to approve item number 8?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Britting?
Absolutely yes.
Committeewoman Hand?
No.
Committeeman Lapani?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne?
Yes.
Mayor Chicarelli?
Yes. Let's see now. Public hearings none. Introduction of new ordinances. This is 2025-07 ordinance amending Chapter 143, Vehicles and Traffic, Section 143-38, Schedule 11, Stop Intersections, the Code of the Township of Hillsborough, Somerset County, New Jersey, to add the intersection of Montgomery Road and Wurtzville Road Further consideration and public hearing to be held on June 24th, 2025. May I have a motion and a second to introduce ordinance 2025-07?
So moved.
Second.
And a roll call.
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand?
Yes.
Committeeman LaPlante?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne?
Yes.
Mayor Chicarelli?
Yes. Claims list. May I have a motion and a second to approve claims list 2025-09?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any comments from the dais? Comments from the floor? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand?
Yes.
Committeeman LaPlante?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne?
Yes.
Mayor Chicarelli?
Yes. We have,
Quick item of clarification. I know that we voted, we took 8 separately. Did we actually vote on the rest of the consent agenda?
Yeah, you said
That was the first?
We did
Okay.
before.
It was all going. Thank you.
we have no new business.
Trying to
so
help.
Public comments, pardon me, did you have something?
No.
Mr. Willard, something?
We're good.
Okay. Public comments for matters not on the agenda. Ms. Brake, please read the statement regarding public comment.
The Township Committee welcomes input from the public. Please state your name and address and spell your name for the record. You will be given 1 3-minute allotment for your comments. Please understand that this public forum is not structured as a question and answer session. Comments are to be addressed to the mayor. Again, please keep your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Anybody have any comments? All right, seeing none, may I have a motion and a second to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand?
Yes.
Committeeman LaPlante?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne?
Yes.
Mayor Chicarelli?
Yes. Time is 9:40. Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.
Maybe we can stop.